Richmond, Kentucky. At a first glance, it's a simple, arguably boring town, right? Well, today I'm up here to remind you that every town has its secrets, and now you get to know about ours. Now, let me take you back to 1858, where a building was built and it was Madison Female Institute, one of the only and first schools in the South that gave girls an opportunity to get an education. Now, it seemed to be a pretty bright path for Richmond until 1862 hit, and that was the Battle of Richmond, part of the Civil War. The school was to be temporarily known as a hospital, the teachers and students both temporarily nurses. Now, since it was a battle, and since the nurses weren't technically trained, dozens of men ended up dying in there while hospitalized. Now, when the war ended, the silver lining was finally visible. Well, we thought. In 1920, Madison Female Institute was transferred into Madison High, Richmond's only high school, for boys and for girls this time. Now, again, going down a good path, everything's working out, we're doing good, until the 1940s, where Madison High's teacher was murdered in her classroom, brutally, at 1:03 in the morning, room 306. And if that isn't bad enough, as soon as that death faded from the public eye, a little girl was bullied in the third floor girls' bathroom, shoved, hit her head on a sink, and was instantly killed. Now, this building is known as the Madison Middle. Does anyone not believe in ghosts here? Raise your hand. Okay, let me see if I can change your mind. Now, when I was doing my research, I decided that I was going to conduct a couple of interviews of friends that went to Madison Middle. I personally didn't. And when I was doing this, I found something pretty interesting. Every single person had some similarities. Everyone felt paranoia. Someone was always watching them. Everyone had cold spots and gusts of cold air where there were no windows, no air conditioners. And there were lockers opening and closing on their own. Now, whether you think that's a screw, or whether you think there was a force pulling and pushing it, that's up to you. But the two creepiest stories I personally found was from my friend Bryce Dexter, alumni of Madison Middle, and Mason Neal, again, alumni of Madison Middle. These consisted of a projector turning on by itself, typing out a couple sentences on a Word document when they were across the classroom, and the other one consisted of a clock flying across the room, hitting a student in the head, sending her to the nurse. Crazy, right? You might not believe me, because, hey, they're my friends, I might be biased, am I right? Yeah. Well, did anyone change their mind? Probably not. Maybe. Well, I thought you all might think I was biased, so I went to unusualkentucky.org, where I found a pretty creepy story that kind of made me want to avoid the building at all costs, at all times. So, this was when a history teacher and her student were carrying some items up to her new classroom on 3rd floor. Sound familiar? Murder, bullying going wrong? Yeah, 3rd floor. When a little girl ran right past her, bawling her eyes out, and into the 3rd floor bathroom. Well, the teacher, obviously concerned, doing her job, dropped her stuff, ran after the girl to see if she was okay. Well, she heard a very familiar series of sounds. She heard laughing, crying, a single scream, and then silence. As I looked more into it, a lot of people have heard the exact same series, the exact same sequence of sounds. Now, to me, personally, does it kind of sound like a bullying incident gone wrong? The laughing of the bullies, the crying of the little girl, a single scream the moment she was killed, and then nothing? Sounds kind of creepy, right? Well, my question is the people that have been hearing it, do you think it was the bullying incident gone wrong? Or do you think it was just in their heads? If you want to find out, walk 2 minutes to your right. It's on campus. That's Madison Middle. Thank you.